my name is Philip, I come from Denmark, and I have played Hearthstone since open beta. I started getting into Hearthstone because I always liked card games, and Hearthstone was just another card game for me. My favorite thing about Hearthstone is how it's easy to be a really good player, but extremely difficult to be one of the best players. I always wanted to go to Blizzcon and be a part of the audience, and now I might get the chance of going there as a player, which would be really, really awesome. The prize pool doesn't really concern me too much, because I'm very young, and for me it's just a big number.
That's right, it's just a number. The kid is 17 years old. He's already here on the main stage, ready to play Kaor. And we're going to find out a little bit more about his opponent as well right now.
My name is Riccardo Giammanco. I come from Italy. I play Hearthstone from like 4 months. I like the card game. I played Magic for like 10 years after I play TCG. And now I play Hearthstone because I like World of Warcraft. I like Togsteel. This card is very funny. Like Ragnaros and Think Master, but was nerfed. I think this tournament can improve the player, to which help a lot the watcher, so you can copy the deck and try some strategy and become better.
So we have a mix of the young with the more mature audience of Hearthstone, as Kaor is a father and he is from Italy. He's been playing games for a long time versus a kid who's been new on the block. Guys, these two will match up in just a second, and I'm going to leave it to you three. But the last question is predictions. Artosis, you saw the play. Let's start with you.
You know, I'm going to go with Numberguy. I actually really like this guy. He's a super hard worker. He's putting in more hours to Hearthstone a day than almost anyone in the world. I like Numberguy to take this series down, but of course, 3-2. All
right, Savitz?
Yeah, I have to go with Numberguy as well. I mean, he managed to beat Nyria, who is one of the direct seeds alongside Golento to get here. And Nyria has been doing really well, and if Numberguy can take him out, then I think his chances against Kaor are also going to be very good.
All right, Nimsh, are you going to also jump on the Numberguy train here?
I think I will just, I like to be different, so I'll bet on Kaor, because he is a fellow Magic player, he has a lot of experience, so I really respect Numberguy and how he plays and his achievements in Hearthstone. But let's bet on Kaor here because he is a Magic player and he can pull it through, like if he has experience like from live events.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, last reminder, guys, to hashtag Road to BlizzCon, stay engaged in social media, and send your predictions to @PlayHearthstone while we get ready for our first series of the day, Numberguy versus Kaor. It should be a good one.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the classes here. And what do you guys think they're actually going to go ahead and open up with, right? Because for Numberguy, we have Warlock, Priest, Druid. For Kaor, we have Priest, Druid, and Paladin. So Paladin and Warlock, the only 2 different classes here. What do you open up with here, Nimsh?
Well, so Druid is always a good choice if you want to open. As the class is very neutral. Yeah. So we have a Druid.
Well,
and
a Druid and a Priest.
Paladin was also nice. It's like you can actually open with any class almost right now.
Yeah. I think they're all fine openers. But it looks like this is actually going to be a ramp Druid, which will have the combo in it as well, which we've seen more and more of in ramp decks. But we did see that Ancient of War also. So just something to keep in mind. It's one of the higher end ramp decks and maybe not like the Golento-y, almost a ramp deck. Looks like Nimsh's headset going to be switched over for a second. Anyways, taking a look at these hands, Savitz, what are you saying about these hands?
The Druid hand looks really good. I mean, Kaor got the advantage just based on the picks here. He's playing Ramp Druid against Priest. There aren't that many good targets for the Cabal Shadow Priest. If he was playing a faster Druid, with like maybe Harvest Golems and stuff, this would be really tough for him. But the slow Druid, it will have time to get to the big drops.
Well, we'll see if he gets up to those big drops. Looks like we're going to have a Yeti coming out on turn 3. Nothing new there. With just a 3-4 to challenge it. Not going to be able to do too much about it right now.
Yeah, I don't know if coining out the Yeti was really necessary. I mean, it does match up well against the Dark Cultist, but he doesn't have like a good 4-mana play for next, and I don't think it's time for Keeper just yet. So I think I would have preferred the Shade there, but definitely it's still okay.
Yeah, well, looks like he does get a Shadow Word Death in his hand. That's going to definitely come in useful later on, and a Thought Steal grabs a Belcher and a Swipe. Not too bad.
By the way, guys, I believe I'm back.
Oh, welcome back, Nimsh. Glad to have you.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and, you know what? It turns out that that actually was a good turn for play, thanks to the silence.
It worked out really well for him.
Now, all right, so let's say that you guys are playing the Priest deck. What is your plan against a ramp deck like this? What cards are you saving for specific cards?
Well, if he has Mind Control is probably for the Ancient of War and the Shadow Word Deaths also. I mean, sometimes you have to death lore to, depending on the situation, but the optimal Shadow Word Death target would be the Ancient of War.
Yeah, you also have to be really careful with the cards because the minions before attack are pretty annoying, so you have to keep the answers to be able to deal with those cards. Like trade with them and kill them with stuff. He was able to get a swipe, which might be helpful with just dealing with the 4-attack minions here.
Yeah, in fact, he decides to go ahead and just drop a Sylvanas down. Both these players kind of sit behind some taunts, but with that Black Knight, definitely can cut through the first piece of this Belcher.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much the Sylvanas is going to get done here. We do see a Wild Pyromancer and we do see a Holy Nova. But
yeah, that gives him a lot of options on what he can actually do.
The Sylvanas is pretty scary here. We'll see how much he can do. I mean, he does have the 7 mana, so I would expect to see the Wild Pyro Holy Nova. But he does have a swipe too. I mean, there's a lot of options. Wild Pyro swipe on the Black Knight would be quite amazing as well.
Wild Pyro swipe on the Black Knight, and that would do 2 damage, so he'd leave a 2-1. And of course he... Well, I mean, what do you think about maybe going Wild Pyro and playing the Holy Nova and running Sylvanas into the 4/6? He would then steal the Black Knight, and that would be like his board. Black Knight plus the Pyro.
Seems reasonable.
The Sylvanas would heal up from the...
Well, you do
Novas.
the spell first.
Okay.
So then the Pyro gives her 1 damage.
So that's the one he's swiping.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's actually even better. Now he gets the...
He gets the Black Knight.
Yes, really strong play here by Numberguy.
Okay, that was just a different spell doing what I was saying. So.
Yeah, that worked out really well for him. That's what Sylvanas can do.
Yeah, she's pretty crazy like that, that's for sure.
That was a pretty strong turn. It's like, it seems like Druid has a lot of minions and a board position, but then just in an instant, it's gone.
It might have been a mistake to not silence the Sylvanas straight away. Because he did have the second Keeper, and it's always dangerous to have that.
Keeper is really one of the... I mean, Sylvanas is really one of those cards, especially in a Priest deck, that you have to silence right away. There's not like a lot of great silence targets.
But guys, this is Druid. Like, he had no minions on board, and right now, he has the full board with 2 Trends and Scenarios. So for Druid...
I mean, he can clear this... No, he can't quite clear it out. No. Oh, the Holy Nova. Oh, that's a great play right here. Oh, God. You know, when Priest has the right cards in hand, man, they can do a lot with it.
Well, we've seen a couple of games in the past where Priest is actually getting the board really quickly, and it's hard to deal with it. Like, Circle of Healing is also a pretty strong card. If you are able to keep the board position, you just continue trading and healing your minions and just keep it up.
Quite true. We do have, of course, the Scenarios kind of out there, and definitely one of the biggest minions in this ramp deck.
Oh, he's thinking about going face. He does have the combo in his hand already. So...
Yeah, you could drop this, drop a Yeti, or even the Shade of Noxramas, and start going to town a little bit. I mean, we've already seen, if he does take a bunch of damage on this, bring down 1 health, it's actually kind of hard for Priest to deal 1 damage. Like, he's going to need to drop an Akanai for that, or, you know, I don't think he's going to be playing a Holy Smite. That's very rare. And he already used, of course, one of his Holy Novas.
Yeah, he has to think about if he can set up the board for lethal next turn.
Yeah. Well, we do have the Holy Fire in hand here for Kaor, so definitely can use
Holy
that to gain some health.
Shadow Word Death. Not
Wow,
bad
look
at
at
all.
that.
He manages to clear the board and also heals for 5 there.
Yeah, that's actually really well done, as we see. That's Kaor actually in a little bit of trouble, maybe. It was looking good there for a moment, but we've had some real power plays from Numberguy so far.
Ancient of War seems tempting here, because he just saw one Shadow of Death be played, but we can see that there's actually another one in the Priest's hand. So playing the Ancient of War would actually put him further behind.
Quite true. He's trying to decide what to end up doing. Okay, he wants to actually rat this out. Probably cycle it, right?
Yeah, you need the card here for sure.
Oh,
he might even
cycle another.
Yeah, he might even rot again.
What are you looking for? Play. You have the combo. What do you
Ancient of Lore for more cards.
Mm.
It's gonna be a long game, and you want as many draws as you can.
Alright, well.
I don't see this one ending just yet.
No, certainly not. Even though he does have that combo and a pretty scary hand.
Yep.
Still, Priest has all the answers he needs.
And against the Priest, you have to ensure that you're actually winning the game with the combo. Just unloading the combo and not winning can lose you the game, because Priest can just heal up and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep, and there's a taunt coming.
Yeah, and I like this play. I don't want to see him do something like waste a Holy Nova right now, especially when he has Akanai Circle. Like in 2 turns, if he needs to, he can play this and still kill that guy off.
We're seeing it a lot in the current metagame, like just players fighting for the board position and just trying to trade minions instead of just unloading the combos.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that is the name of Hearthstone quite often.
There's the Ancient of War, finally. He had no other reasonable play.
Shadow Madness.
This has to be Shadow or Death, but what else do you play here? Just drop the Akanai, maybe Hero Power Phase for 2.
Can you drop the Cabal just to fill up the
board? I like the Cabal because you're playing against such a ramp druid, and the fact that you're already seeing Shades of Noxramas means probably no Harvest Golems. We've already seen Keepers.
Yeah,
what is there left to steal?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't think there's any good target for the Cabal Battle Cry anymore, so why not drop it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
This is not bad either, but the Cabal, I feel like it might have been a little bit better.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just have that body. I like to keep the Akanai. I love keeping one Akanai in hand until the turn that you need to win the game with it.
Another Ancient of War.
Oh, wow.
Now there's no chance for another Shadow of Death.
No, he's risking Mind Control though, but I feel like the Druid has to risk it here. You don't want to combo just to clear, and his other options seem pretty bad. With the Swipe, he can't clear even with Hero Power and the Shade.
Preemptive attack on the Belcher. I really like those plays.
Would you have attacked in with this 4/4? I know it's like a little bit dangerous because the Akanai Hero Power to kill it, but I feel like with this 5/10 out, if he has a circle, it's probably going to get used.
It would have been an alright option. I mean, it would have made a lot of sense because the Akanai is also out, so something like Holy Nova would actually damage the Priest's own creatures. But he chooses to keep it in stealth.
Numberguy focused.
Yeah, you know, I think here, without any doubt, I would run the Belcher into this 5/10, and then I would circle, and run into him. That's I mean, you have to clear this.
This is like the last time he can actually deal with the stealth hit Shade.
Also, it's important that he's actually outside of the combo range, and he can play some minions.
Yeah, I think this is a play that had to be made. This is why I wanted to see Kaor attack in with the Shade. It seems like, you know, you've already seen his Shadow Word Death come out. You haven't seen any Circle of Healing yet. There's a good chance this was going to happen.
Draws another spell. He's really trying to find the Ancient of Lore here.
He only has the spells, and Sludge Belcher is interesting, but Shadow Madness is a perfect card to use Sludge Belcher.
He needs the Druid to play another creature first, though, so he can actually get the Death Rattle minion to himself.
Yeah. And then he can steal, even if he didn't get it, he could steal it with this. I guess that's the one target left for Cabal in this whole deck, really. Yeah. Well, right now.
You devil the board and that's it.
Yeah, you just heal this guy up. There's not a whole lot else that you can really get done there.
No.
I wouldn't even consider playing the Holy Nova, of course, yet. And yeah, I think if you haven't played the Cabal yet, leave the Cabal in your hand right now. You might steal this Ooze next turn. It's definitely a possibility. Oh, he wants to put the damage on already.
He will be able to steal Vulture with Shadow Madness, so he's going to position himself to be able to kill his opponent next turn.
I really like the Holy Nova here. It seems unlikely that Ramp Druid would be playing multiple creatures and that he would be getting much value out of it right now. That also, it damages the Belcher to be ready for the Madness next turn. And he gets to heal up the Blade Master. Having it at 7 toughness is really difficult for the Druid to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really good point. I wasn't thinking of it quite like that, but you're definitely right. This is he going to have a better place for that? Wow. Probably not.
He's really respecting the hand of a priest. So he feels like he was in lethal range.
Well, he is only at 8 health, and that Holy Nova, I think, kind of points towards what might be in his hand, too.
There was a lot of cards that would provide lethal.
Yeah, that was interesting that he went for the combo here. I guess he was afraid of the Blade Master getting out of control.
Mind control, finally. Here.
It's not the greatest thing to mind control, but I mean, your opponent only has 1 card in his hand. Just heals.
But the thing is, this is never going to kill him.
Yeah.
I think I actually like the heal pass. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he does have the Shadow Madness, so having that Sludge Belcher on the table.
Wait, is that it?
It's really good for.
After Lothar, it seems like that's it.
Well, I mean, he can play the
Shadow Madness.
The Shadow Madness and kill off the Belcher, I guess.
Yeah, he gets the 1 too.
But yeah, the Lothar with this charge minion, that was a great draw right there. This is like really hard now.
Really efficient for mana.
It's funny, like the fact that he had Lothar in hand, I guess that makes the mind control a much better play on the previous turn. But I think it was valid him not doing that.
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, getting greedy with Shadow Madness and just leaving the Belcher.
Well, he won't be able to heal, so if Druid actually gets 1 point of damage, somehow.
Yeah, just 1 is enough.
Druid of the Claw, second swipe. He used double Wrath already. Did he use double swipe or only 1 swipe?
You hit the 4/4 here, by the way. He used 1 swipe. No, he used both swipes, right? I think so. God, commentators always look so dumb. There's a beautiful stage that we have here, no doubt.
It's just amazing. It's like a lot of players are just sitting after behind the stage and just watching as well.
By the way, you hit this 4/4 every time, right? Because then it has 1 health and you can actually take it out with either of your minions.
So.
This might be it, guys.
No?
It still might be it.
He might get a Wrath to finish this off.
Savage Roar is also deadly.
Yeah, but it's a ramp Druid, so I would actually expect him only to play
He used
1.
both Wraths.
Heal. Huh.
Really?
Heals the minion.
And he's actually
really
going to clear. I'm very surprised about like everything we just saw.
Oh, this might have been a big mistake.
But this is playing really safe. And he used, he's seen more of most of the removal cards actually that the Priest is playing.
That is true.
And he did it in the wrong order too. I mean, he could have first taken out the 1/3 and then healed. He gave the Priest a free card.
True. The sequencing was pretty weird.
Well, he couldn't have because there was 1 health on that guy. So
yeah,
for him to run into anything.
Use the other guy to kill off the
You can't though because there was the taunt, the 1/2 taunt.
He could do it in a different order, I feel. Like he could attack into 1/2 with 1 minion, then attack into 1/3 with another minion.
But if he didn't
Oh
heal,
yeah,
he
he couldn't.
You're
Yeah,
right,
it was
you're
only
right,
1 health. Yeah,
no
right.
mistake there. Yeah.
That's
my bad.
Okay, so we did see, I actually was looking at you guys, but he had to have mind controlled the 4/3 charge and ran it into Lothar. That was really the only way there. And that is not what he needs. Oh my god, Kaor actually came back here. I actually really felt like Numberguy was going to be able to take that.
It seemed like the Priest had an advantage for the longest time, but wow.
That was pretty nice, like trading into minions, using his combo to trade, to kill, like fight for the board till the end.
Yeah.
And he won the board and he was able to just use his minions and win thanks to that. Like
Yeah, it was excellent play by Kaor there. I mean, I think he deserved the game 1. That was not to say that that Numberguy would have done a lot of mistakes, but the plays by Kaor, they really seem to be spot on.
Yeah, they really did. He played very well a couple days ago, and we had that first set of games as well. So Kaor, you know, one of these unknown guys, an old Magic player, playing very well so far. And we got to take into consideration, Numberguy won all of his games with Priest against Nyria. I said the name right. I feel like really proud of myself right now.
It was pretty good.
It was good. So now the Priest is out.
That's right. So he's got to go Warlock or Druid.
Do you go for the coin flip or do you take a Warlock? If this is Handlock, originally Handlock was pretty good versus Druid. But then
Kaor is playing 2 BGHs.
Double BGHs.
Double BGH is pretty tough.
I would bring the Druid just because of the double BGHs.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Numberguy has been taking notes on Wednesday and knows that and remembers that there's the double BGH in there. So I think it has to be the Druid. And it is.
Yeah.
He's going for a coin flip, and then there's a Kalfuzad in a Druid.
Yeah.
So this is is this a ramp? Do we know it? It's probably ramp.
It seems like a ramp.
I would imagine it's ramp with a KT in there. I can't actually quite remember
Nims,
so
would
many
you
decks
keep
that
the-
we saw so quickly.
Nims, would you keep the Black Knight here? I mean,
In the mirror,
yeah.
I would probably not keep the Black Knight if I'm going first. If I'm going second, I would keep the Black Knight.
I don't really mind keeping the Black Knight, but trying to maximize your chances to get cards like Wild Growth. I probably would throw it away.
It's-
I mean, it's going to
it
be a
paid
long
off.
game. Yeah.
He did get the Innervate, so right now it can be pretty deadly.
Yeah, but you probably don't want to play it before an Ancient of War anyway, unless you absolutely have to.
Well, if you actually win the board instantly, it's let's say you played something good and they played a Belcher or whatever, and you Black Knight, and at that point you actually you're winning the board. When you're playing Druid versus Druid, it's actually tough to get back from the position where your opponent has 3 minions on board. So there are
That's
not
true.
that many clears. Like you can use the combo, but combo is like turn 9, and still you would prefer to use the combo to just finish the game. So if Druid is able to snowball and just have 3-4 minions on board, and you're the Druid that just defending, it's really hard to get back.
Yeah, and you can always silence the Ancient of War if you have a keeper. There's usually not that many silence targets. I mean, there are Cairn in some of the Druid decks, but you can just use silence on the Ancient of War.
Yeah. So that Black Knight was actually a pretty cool decision. Like it just signs that Numberguy knows this matchup and he knows what's important.
Yep.
Well, I really like Kaor's hand, by the way. Kaor's hand. Look at, I mean, he had his ramp already. He's got the Innervate. He's got a lot of strong minions here.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't go wrong with this hand, really. I was
No.
actually a little bit surprised, by the way, that he didn't coin out Wild Growth on turn 1, but felt like that was kind of a cool play.
Oh no.
Well,
This is the Black Knight.
Seems like the Black Knight is really gonna pay off.
yeah, this is 100%.
I
You
was
gotta do
there.
that.
When I was playing versus Amaz at Dreamhack, the same situation happened.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to just have a cat, but like, do you expect Black Knight and Innervate on turn 4?
No, I think it would be kind of weird to play around that, but once you see the Innervate go off, you know what's coming.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
There's like 4 mana.
It's like
and
he's
then
not
it goes up
dropping his
to 6.
Sylvanas, guys.
No.
And Kaor is visibly upset, or he was for a moment.
Yeah, he also used the coin for the Druid of the Claw, so it was kind of bad.
Could Innervate out hero power here.
Not bad.
Sick play.
Yeah,
Nice.
sick play.
I like.
His hand is actually like kind of weak. I mean,
Do you use BGH?
I think you
Yep.
drop BGH and kill Lotheb with your hero power in the Black Knight.
That makes sense.
I agree. I mean, there's not gonna be targets for the big game Hunter Battle Cry.
Yeah, yeah.
So you might as well play it now. And what else can you do?
Well, BGH is
Nothing.
also cool because the only good way to kill it is Keeper of the Grove. And if they use Keeper of the Grove, like, you try to bait out Keeper of the Grove to kill BGH, and then you drop Sylvanas next turn. And you're like,
No,
hey.
yeah, that's really nice. And in fact, it fits the mana curve perfectly as well. So
And
that's
if they
good.
don't, you have a BGH on board, which is a 4-2 and can deal some
Oh,
damage.
he actually holds it.
not
I'm trying
sure
to
I
think, like,
that.
we definitely haven't seen anything with 7 attack or more.
No.
And he's not playing the Tech 1 Abusive Sergeant, so I mean,
I really don't know why he's holding on to it.
yeah.
This is also his... oh wait, this is actually Kaor.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Numberguy's got quite a full hand here. I mean, the
There's the
Sylvanas
Sylvanas.
seems kind of like obvious, but
Yeah,
I don't
he
know,
does
is it
go
gonna
for it.
actually do anything here?
There's no good answer for the Sylvanas right now.
So being Kaor, do you just ignore Sylvanas?
Yeah,
He
I
has
think
to.
so. If you don't ignore Sylvanas, then
Or he,
I mean, it's going to trade really favorably.
yeah,
So
I guess he could trade off both of the minions, but it doesn't seem very good.
You can just draw a card anyway. Probably.
Yeah, drawing might be the best call to start things off here. Just try to get that silence for the Sylvanas.
yeah, that would be really nice if you just ripped out a keeper.
What does it draw? Yeti.
Yeah,
Mm,
not quite getting what he wants here.
no.
Maybe the BJH just is something that like, oh, you can take the BJH, whatever.
Yeah, just when you can't deal with the card, you just ignore the card and
Yeah.
try going face.
I definitely do agree with
Yeah,
that.
he even has to attack with the Shade of Nextramas. It seems kind of wasteful because Shade can now be killed by Wrath or like Swipe or whatever. But on the other hand, he doesn't have a choice. He has to be aggressive. He has to go around Sylvanas.
All right, now Numberguy definitely has kind of a hard choice ahead of him here.
He sure does. There's no swipe or any kind of AoE clear, and there's multiple minions on the board.
Well, he's got an Innervate, so he actually can do quite a bit.
Yeah.
Would you consider stealing one of his minions with Sylvanas right now? He could do something like cycle his Wrath on it and throw it into the Belcher.
Wrap Sylvanas first, see what you can get.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair play.
Yeah, it seems all right. I mean, he's got to do something here. He does, of course, have the Ancient Lore. You could draw a couple into that, but that's only going to give him 2 more mana with the Innervate out, so...
Yeah, I feel like you have to stop the onslaught here, because you're getting pretty low. If you just attack into a Sludge Belcher with Sylvanas, you will get at least 8 points of damage next turn. And if there's some kind of like a combo, a Savage Roar, you might be getting in the lethal range.
Okay, so he's just going to set up a taunt for now, and okay, I think that this was a fine play.
Yep.
I don't have anything wrong with this, actually. That might have been what I would have ended up doing.
Really nice. He still has Sylvanas, so the board is pretty awkward for Kaor, and he was able to stop any points of damage coming.
Huh. Nice usage of Swipe here. Does clear everything out, sacrificing his 2 kind of weaker minions and playing that Yeti.
Chill-Win Yeti, by the way. It's back.
Yeah, it is. It's really back. We've seen a lot of them this weekend already. I'm so glad.
It was gone for a while, but
yeah.
now it's...
I really missed losing games to Innervated Yetis. That was really fun for a bit.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Well, right now we do see definitely Numberguy getting himself into a pretty good spot right now.
Yep, Kaor starting with the draw.
Oh my god.
Look at that.
Single-handedly just swinging the game.
And the reaction
man.
from Numberguy says it all.
Numberguy is just crushed.
Well, he's looking at this deck and saying, I am not going to beat this with Handlock. I have to win here.
To be honest, Numberguy had a really good Black Knight early in the game.
That's true. He did. He had a really, really good Black Knight.
He did, but he almost had this game in the bag already, but there it is. The other Black Knight.
Right now it's back to square one. You're facing 2 for 5 minions. How do you even like...
It's an Innervated Yeti and a Coined Yeti right now. This is, I remember this thing, but you know what? He has more mana. He has a good hand still. He's got plenty of great cards he can play, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he could go like, he could play his own Yeti. He could play 2 4/5s, one of which has Taunt and Divine Shield.
He needs taunts here. He knows that there might be... Even one piece of the combo would be enough to kill him unless he plays a taunt or heals, but I don't think healing is really a good option.
It's getting really dangerous for him.
So the options, the plays that I would consider are either the Scenarios or play the Sunwalker and Innervate out the Yeti.
Yeah. I like that one a lot more because I don't see the 2/2 taunts doing a whole lot against these 4/5s. It doesn't really change the math for anything the next turn. So I really prefer this play that we see Numberguy do here.
Yeah. But definitely he is upset. He is defending, and like playing Druid versus Druid and defending is so tough because you always have to consider the combo coming out next turn. And you have to sometimes do the subpart plays because you are afraid that you will just die.
Yeah, very true. And unfortunately here for Numberguy, he actually just drew an Innervate. That's
Sick
like the
draw.
last card you want to see right now.
Absolutely.
Look at that terrible hand. Ugh.
He will be able to drop Karen.
Yeah, I mean, that's another 4/5 out, and then another 4/5 after that dies as well. I mean, that's that's what we're seeing. But
And he is getting closer, and that's another taunt that got killed. So
yeah,
7 points of health.
7. Wow, that's
nice.
yeah, not a bad draw here. You think maybe clear the Yeti and play Sunwalker? Well, the thing is, God, the Scenarios is becoming an okay play as well.
If you kill the Yeti and you play Scenarios, you are dead to Savage Roar, I guess.
Yeah. I like this play. This is
he did just see a Savage Roar.
With just an Innervate in hand, it's going to be hard to break through.
Ooh.
Wait, is this lethal?
It may very well be.
It is.
This is lethal. Sick. This is a sick draw.
Wow.
And it's a sick game. This is Druid versus Druid, guys. It's just so intense.
And going into game 3, Numberguy is gonna have to bring his handlock and
against the double BGH.
Yeah.
Well,
that's rough.
You know, this is how Kaor rolls, man. He wins the first 2 games with Druid on the other day as well, and he's taken him out twice. Quite an epic game there, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was really close. I feel like the turning point was when he got the Black Knight out of the out of the Wrath for 1 and just taking out the Ancient
Yeah,
of War.
well, that was like the ultimate top deck of the universe ever.
Yeah,
right there.
it really swings the
That's
game
why I'm
in his
rooting for
favor.
the guy. It's like, he is my favorite, right?
That's right. I mean, good call there, Nimsh. Bringing out the Warlock. If you are in this position, right, as Numberguy, and you're playing Handlock, and you know he has 2 BGHs and a Black Knight, how do you alter your play with Handlock to have some sort of chance to win this game?
Maybe in early game, because usually you want to go for the turn 4 play with the Giant and stuff, but it's not that tempting against the double BGH, because it swings the game in the Druid's favor. So he might go for something like Ancient Watcher into an Owl to kick things off instead of the classical Giant.
So would you be like mulliganing specifically for that? You know, a lot of times you're looking, you know, for Twilight Drakes and the Mountain Giant, but are you looking directly for Watchers and Owls right now?
He could do that, but I mean, at some point you have to play the Giants anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think about... well, because it's mostly about exhausting removal cards. What do you think about trying to get the Twilight Drakes? Like, try to get Twilight Drakes, / Belchers, and Siphon Cells to be able to get the board position with those cards. Just pray that they don't have Keeper of the Grove, and try to win with the removal cards.
Yeah, I kind of like it. His hand actually turns out to be pretty good overall with the Twilight Drake and a Mountain Giant. Of course,
and there's no BGH.
There is no BGH yet. Not yet. But yeah, he actually threw a Watcher back just to throw that out there while we were talking. So
yeah. So he's probably just going to drop the Giant on 4 and pray that there's no BGH coming.
I like that because the longer you wait, the more cards Druid draws, the more likely they have the BGH.
Yeah, that's true.
I also like the fact that he has Farseer, because you can life tap here, and then you can play Farseer on turn 3, so you have a solid play, and you don't burn the card on turn 4. You can just follow up with the Giant or Twilight Drake.
Well, Kaor here, he had a Wild Growth, but other than that, 5/5/5 is not exactly what you would hope to have.
I think you innervate one out though, right?
Well, you're playing against the Handlock, so I don't think it's an obvious decision, but he could.
I feel like I would go for the 4/6 taunt here, to be honest. That's like what, because if you go for the 4/4 and he has a, you know, he plays like Giant and then Soulfires it, you're like, oh,
yeah,
that sucks.
I do agree. I do agree. You have to have a way to kill the Giant if the Giant drops.
He knows the Giant won't be coming just this turn, but I mean, with that hand, what would you even save the innervate for? I think it's a fair play.
Scenarios only, but you have to have the board for scenarios to work.
Do you like this, or do you like the Watcher here?
I like Farseer.
You like Farseer?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it, and his hand doesn't have a Soulfire or anything, and I feel like this 3/3 should... Oh, he's not even going to kill it off. He's actually going to let it be.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think there's any reason really to trade.
Oh, we are going to see this Mountain Giant come out, and this is the most stressful passing of a turn of Numberguy's life right now. Does he have the BGH?
There is no BGH.
Nope, not this time.
But there is Force of Nature, so he can possibly clear, but he can also go for face if he really wants to.
Well, he's going to enable the Molten Giants pretty quickly if he does that. He does have the Wrath as well. He could combo the Wrath plus Lotheb or something like that. But, I mean, if you're throwing 2 cards into each Giant when he's life tap a couple times already, that's not a good place to be in.
I would probably go for the clear. I mean, knowing that you have double BGH in the deck, you have pretty good tools going into the late game. So, I mean, he could have taken a more aggressive line and just going for face.
Yeah, he clears with the Wrath and attack from Lotheb, so that's a pretty good decision here. He still has a good board with the 4/6 Bear, and he has a lot of removal cards in his deck.
Certainly.
And there's the Twilight Drake. And another, but now he's like passing the turn and hoping there's no silence. And
no keeper.
Wow.
Hey, listen, if he threw the Lotheb and the Wrath in, I don't care about that. I'm like, okay, you can remove it like that if you want. It's these other cards that I'm really scared of. And now I would actually be happy that he casts an Ancient of Lore here. The first time I'd probably ever be happy about a Druid doing that, but that's better than a Silence coming down.
But on the other hand, Ancient of Lore is also a good card, because right now he did draw a couple of cards. He has a lot of minions, but being an Numberguy here, you might be scared of his hand, like five cards, combos and stuff.
Yeah, it's very true. Well, looks like he's thinking about taking this out, and ooh, yeah, very nice coining into that Mortal Coil.
Yeah, very good play.
And suddenly, Handlock looking like it's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I mean, those early threats have their weaknesses, but Kaor just didn't draw the right cards.
He only has the minions, so right now his hand is pretty cluttered with the 4/5 mana guys.
Having only minions when your opponent is ahead on the board is really disastrous.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he draws into something else here. That Yeti and Shade going to be a bit before the Shade is too useful. Another
Twilight Drakes are so good, by the way. If Druid can't remove them, they have so much health, so they're so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And right now he can just go for face. It's just, he is super safe. He has the strong board. He can just try to kill his opponent first, and he also has some cool removal cards.
There was no good trade, so going for face was fairly obvious decision. But Ancient of War would not work out.
Yeah, he does have that Siphon Soul in hand.
But I mean, the other option would have been to drop the Belcher and Yeti, but then you would be really open to a Shadow Flame.
Well, so do you remove this 3/3 taunt here, by the way? Or do you save this one turn? Is there like, do you actually need to get rid of this 3/3 taunt?
I would probably trade here. I mean, seeing the cards, keeping it in stealth would be better, but I would play here around the Shadow Flame and also do the trade.
You want to get the value from the cards as much as you can, because you want to play around the AoE spells.
Yeah. Handlock has one of the strongest AoE in the game.
Another Mountain Giant, and there is still no BGH.
Well, he gets that Shadow Flame that you guys were talking about, but the Siphon Soul going to be a pretty obvious play, continuing to clear the board. Numberguy in a really nice spot in a matchup that I am completely sure he was dreading.
Yep. It's looking really good for him right now.
Yeah. You know, a Kaor has to be sitting there, he's like, I have had BGHs that were worthless in every game, and now I'm finally versus a handlock that I expected, and here I am with nothing.
That's probably, I mean, I can only imagine how frustrated he must feel. He puts the double BGH in, and it has to be just to do well against this particular deck, and then he doesn't draw them.
Yeah, and he's getting killed, man. 3 cards in hand right now. They're not even cards that are that useful against handlock.
No, not at all.
Oh man.
I mean, if he does draw the other piece of the combo, maybe he can manage to close out the game. But he has to draw it quickly, because the Warlock hero power is just gonna take over otherwise.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's dead right now. He can still get the Black Knight. He can still get some cards to stabilize.
Well, he's definitely going to cycle this, that's for sure.
He needs that BGH right now.
He has to get it.
Yeah, he really does. Really, the BGH is the only card that he can draw here that would make me feel like he has any chance. Even Black Knight is not good enough right now, I don't think.
He could go for some kind of board clear with Force of Nature of Wrath, but I don't see him winning the game after that. He has to risk not drawing a good card.
What if he gets BGH now?
Well, if he gets BGH...
Oh, there it is. Hold it.
Oh, man. There it is.
Oh.
And Numberguy is really angry again.
And look at that. Suddenly we have a pretty good board, but let's not forget that he does have a clear here.
Yeah, there is a Shadow Flame in Numberguy's hand.
He
and
can
the
use...
Druid is very low on cards.
Do you use Soulfire here, by the way? Oh, Faceless.
Yeah, I think you silence the Belcher. I was going to say silence the Belcher, run the... Oh, okay. This is not... I thought he was going to do something else, but that works too.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like, Warlock's board is non-existent right now. He has a taunt, he has a 2/3, but that's nothing.
Would you guys have casted the Soulfire there to take out the Belcher?
I was definitely thinking about using the Soulfire, yeah.
I would be afraid to cast Soulfire there.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to discard the Jaraxxus, that's for sure. And he does have a lot of cards, so it would have been an alright option, but I kind of like the decision of not using it. Because the card quality in his hand is so high, and you don't want to discard...
Okay. Yeah,
you don't want to discard the Giant, you don't want to discard the Belcher, you don't want to discard the Jaraxxus.
You know what? I'm calling a Black Knight right now.
Yeah, if he draws a Black Knight this turn, Numberguy, we're going to see have quite a reaction.
Yeah.
He will just table flip, I'm sure.
Yeah. Let's see what it is. Oh, swipe. That's not it.
That's not exciting at all.
No.
But it's still a good card, and you can combo it with Force of Nature. Can you clear with this?
Oh, I think he actually can almost completely clear the board. Probably that little 1/2 and a damaged Sun Fury Protector will be around, but that's okay.
What's really important is that Warlock actually only has 4 cards in hand.
Yeah.
So he's running out of he's running out of winning conditions.
Well, he's got the ultimate win condition in his hand right now in the form of Jiraxis, so I don't think he's like too worried about that, especially since he does have another giant, but that BGH, that second BGH is in there somewhere.
And a Black Knight is still there as well.
There's the Force of Nature. I mean, it was the strongest play for this turn. But I feel like after this has been used, how is the Druid gonna win? The Warlock is still fairly high on HP, and he's gonna keep drawing 2 cards every turn.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really tough.
Well, the Druid still has Sunwalkers, or is he not running any Sunwalkers? That was Numberguy with Sunwalkers.
Yeah, Numberguy had Sunwalker, I believe. I haven't seen it from Kaor. You know, he has 2 BGHs. You got to take something out.
Yeah.
Double combo?
No.
No, no,
I don't
no.
think so.
I don't think that he has double combo. I think he has 1 combo in there, but God, it's hard to remember.
He can possibly fit double combo in there. I mean, with the double BGH already in.
I guess he will just draw into those Keepers of the Grove, and deal 2 damage to face every turn. Just try to ground his opponent down.
Yeah, I mean, the tricks are already played. He didn't draw them in time.
Well, looks like he's not really considering playing that Earthen Ring Farseer at all. He is at plenty of health with that taunt out. I wouldn't be too scared of anything, especially since we've already seen a piece of the combo played.
Well, you have to just fight for the board in here.
Well, he does actually end up playing it. Okay. Not the greatest draw.
No, it's still a cycle card. Maybe
Yeah.
he can get a BGH.
Yeah, it could have been worse. I mean, he could have drawn an Innervate.
Yes, well, he could cycle into Innervate. That'd be even worse than that.
This is one of the cards that can actually put him back to the game.
Ooh! Oh, wait, no, that's not a mana.
He kind of
Innervate with BGH will be so good. Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that would be insane if that's what he got.
I feel like that's what this might come down to, whether he draws the second BGH or not.
Well, he does attack into that Ancient Watcher, which actually puts this in range to die from this Earthen Ring, so I'm not sure if I actually would have ended up doing that, but I guess you got to watch out for things like Siphon Soul as well.
Love is pretty nice, by the way. You are able to stop the combos, you are able to stop swipes and other spells.
I don't think the Hellfire is necessary. It's going to kill his own Farseer.
But with
the lethal in hand, I think it's a pretty good play.
It was not that bad, I'd say.
Yeah, how did I miss that?
Because you're commentating, that's literally what we do. We miss lethal because we're too busy talking about everything in the whole world and trying to be entertaining. But that was, wow. Yeah, I did not see the lethal. I was like looking at him like, okay, wait, is he going to use, oh, 4 health. Sick.
No, that's a bad play. No, wait a second.
What is he doing?
Okay.
Why is he killing him this turn? He could keep going.
Not missing that lethal really paid off.
Just BM a bit and stall for 2 more turns.
Well,
pretty well played. It was. We haven't seen the BGH. I mean, we've seen 1. There were no Keepers of the Grove, but still, this matchup is basically favored, like for Warlock, if the Druid doesn't draw the answers. So
that's true, and it's you know, it was kind of rough. It took him so long to draw into them. He had to use so many resources to kill off those early minions. Where if he just randomly had a BGH in his hand at the beginning of the game, I think the whole game looks different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Numberguy. I think he played really well.
Yeah.
But the draw by Kaor, it was not very good. 2 Twilight Drakes, no Silence. And the early Giants, no Big Game Hunter.
Yeah. He just didn't have anything that he was looking for.
Yeah.
The decks left are Priest and Paladin.
Paladin is pretty good against Warlock.
I like it.
But the Druid had double BGH, so it clearly means that he had planned the Druid for his handlock counter. So it's possible the Paladin doesn't run any BGH. Or that it's not that...
if you run Equality...
Yeah, Equality, everyone runs 2 Aldors and at least 1 Humility.
And also people run Silences. They run like
1 or 2 Silences right now, yeah. I mean, this tournament we've seen quite a few Pally decks with 2 Silences.
If he has the double Silence, it's not that bad. But he needs to draw them in time this time around.
That's true.
And on the other hand, Priest is actually tough. It's like if you run a Priest against a handlock, it's a troublesome matchup.
Yeah,
Jiraxis single-handedly kills Priest.
Look at that. There's a Spellbreaker and a Equality in an opening hand.
Not bad at all.
Not bad, yeah.
And there is a Twilight Drake, which is super important because that Twilight Drake will hit the table on turn 4, and then Spellbreaker will just wreck it.
And then dude will run right into that Twilight Drake. It'll be awesome. But actually, that's a pretty solid hand. And look at that. He even has his Giant. And, an Aldor does get drawn. And a second Twilight Drake. All right, well, this could be a long one, guys. I don't think they're going to kill each other for a bit.
If I see a Paladin, I always assume that the game will be pretty long.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Unless it's playing like against the zoo or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it might end up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that ends up, you clear the board 3 times and they kill you anyways.
I like double Twilight Drake, by the way, because you play the first one, it's being countered, and your opponent is like, yeah, I did counter your Twilight Drake, and then you place a second one, and your opponent is like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, that gets very annoying. Do you actually have to end up using inequality in a situation like that? That is so rough. You really need to save your equality for
That's
Giants.
a waste. You don't want to use equality on the second Twilight Drake.
Yeah.
No
But
way.
you can't let him just clear everything up forever either.
Yeah, and right now Numberguy is not really phased about the fact that he lost his Twilight Drake.
No, he doesn't care with this type of hand.
Sylvanas, coin Sylvanas here?
Really? Okay.
Maybe, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, he can't clear up everything like that then. I do not like the Aldor here personally.
Me neither.
I mean, it does make... You're not going to silence your own Drake and make him 4-1, right? So
I feel like he should have maybe saved it for Giant.
yeah, I really like saving Aldors for Giants. I think I actually would have played Sen'jin there just to get damage on my opponent. Or the Coin Sylvanas, I think, is a pretty decent play also.
Can you play this matchup really aggressively from the Paladin standpoint? Just deal as much damage as possible, then they try to overextend with Molten Giants and prevent your attacks, then you quality clear the board on their side and push with the last points of damage.
I feel the key thing for aggressive.
Oh, wow. Oh, that was a good play right there. Okay.
That's pretty interesting.
I was like kind of waiting like, oh, you're not going to kill me. Oh, of course, a Shadow Flame. But that is really painful as a Paladin player to lose 2 of your cards like that after you wanted to nullify his card.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the cards that the minions that he lost to the Shadow Flame were not all that valuable, so I don't think he's too worried about that.
Yeah. Well, he does use the Black Knight here, and we'll go to face with this Owl. Of course, with his sword out, pretty easy to get rid of him. Oh, God, he's going right into Tyrion. That is a very quick Tyrion, and with this, I'm a little bit scared with this Faceless Man.
But Tyrion is an amazing play. It's like, you don't expect them to have a Siphon Soul, or like, it seems like this play is really ballsy. It's like, he's really brave to play Tyrion at this spot.
It sure is. I mean, but he did see a silence just come out on the Twilight Drake, so I think that was a big reason why he chose to go with Tyrion so early.
Well, this is where you have to decide, you know, how do you want to deal with your opponent's Tyrion? We don't know that he actually plays a second silence, so you may just be giving a big sword to your opponent here.
Sylvanas is funny. You can play Sylvanas and then equality Pyromancer the next turn.
I think the Divine Shields are going to be gone before then, Nimsh. God, this is so tough.
I wonder if he plays Harrison Jones, and it's like he played Tyrion so that his sword can be stolen, so that he can Harrison in the 3 turns.
Hey, what do you think about... Oh, no, I don't really like that. Never mind. That's a bad idea.
Sylvanas is fine. It's like, just drop like Sylvanas. Because she will steal something for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Tyrion has the Divine Shield, so he can't trade it off next.
I don't know if I would have attacked into that.
I think that was a mistake, because now the Sylvanas is not gonna get anything done,
Nothing is
really.
good, yeah, for sure.
Now we can trade the Tyrions and...
He has to use something to kill Sylvanas anyway. Like, he doesn't have a Mortal Call. And the Black Knight is not killing Sylvanas.
I think you actually trade the Tyrions, run the Black Knight, and use your Soulfire. Like, you have to get rid of this Sylvanas.
Or he can use the weapon. That would also put him low enough to play the Molten Giant.
That's way smart. I forgot that you got a weapon for some reason.
Do you play the Molten Giants here? Because he kind of wants to bait out the equality first. Like, you want to get rid of the removal from Paladin first, and then use your Molten Giants as the last stand, and like use them after the removal was used.
I would drop the Molten Giant after killing the Sylvanas with the weapon, because you also have the Jaraxxus. And if you see an equality combo come out this early, I mean, then after that you can just be playing the Infernals.
No, totally, I do like it.
Maybe the other giant? It might be a bit greedy. He could also drop like a Belcher Molten.
Well, you know what?
Double giant?
If this little guy goes to face next turn, this dude, then he can actually play Jiraxis and the Molten. That's pretty sick.
I like it, by the way.
Yeah, this is really nice. Getting the Mountain Giant before Soulfire or anything is...
But there is a second equality.
Yep.
How do you deal with this board easily?
Well, you can combo it right out and play a Karn or something like that.
He could attack into that, then equality,
Yeah.
Kodo, trade the 1/1 for the Giant. He did just throw a second equality. I think that would be quite strong.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
attack first
I
with the
really
weapon,
like it with the...
then equality,
yeah.
then Kodo, then trade.
The one thing about Kodo, as opposed to... Because I was thinking of maybe you attack in with this, you use Equality Pyro combo, and then play Karn. The one reason I would consider that is because I really like the direct removal of the Kodo, because the second Owl hasn't been played yet, so you can like completely kill a giant on your turn with that, plus an Aldor Humility.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Also,
Not bad either.
using Pyromancer here makes it difficult for you to use second equality after that.
Oh, I think... Should he use his sword here, or do you guys... I feel like I would use my sword there.
You can go for face.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's fair enough.
That's not a bad play if he gets something to be
Jiraxis.
able to use equality.
Yeah.
Jiraxis is gonna be so good here now.
Yeah, he can sword this
He can first kill that.
the giant and Jiraxis. It's so crazy.
And a Molten Giant as well.
Oh.
Oh, he's not going for Jiraxis.
Oh, he's just going to taunt?
That's interesting.
Well, he saw one equality go away, and the Pyro is actually gone, so this is actually a big issue.
Yeah.
He can equality, but he just doesn't have anything to combo with it.
He would have lost the five attack weapon if he played the Jiraxis. Huh.
This was risky,
That's
but
really
it's
interesting.
paying off.
It is. It sure is.
This is like...
He needs consecration.
Hey, would you guys have considered playing equality before these cards? I would feel like a little bit desperate in this spot with that hand.
It's a tough call. If he has second Iron Beak. It's actually it wasn't a bad play. Like play equality and then play those cards.
I just kind of like that overall because then the Sludge Belcher like trades for something like the little Ooze does because obviously he'll sword the first Sludge Belcher, but in that case at least.
Right now he ensured that the board won't be cleared with. Well, if he gets a Pyromancer, he can still equality Pyromancer even after Belcher, and that's actually his only out.
Yeah, he needs this badly. I think you just run your 1/3 into this 5/2 for sure, and you really hope that you get the Pyro.
Yeah, you gotta draw with the Acolyte and try to get the Pyro. I think that's his only chance.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else at all.
Well, there's Jiraxis and Soulfire, which is 7 points of damage anyway.
Yeah.
So you have to heal yourself as well.
Yeah, I guess he's actually drawing dead right now.
That's true.
Wow. That's a very good point, Nimsh. Good call.
Didn't miss lethal.
Nope.
Yeah, no, you hit every lethal there was there.
Yeah, this is tough. But it's hard to like for the players who are watching us right now. It's tough to make a decision. Like sitting there, you know you're in a bad spot. You want to do your best.
Yeah. God, this is so tough.
It's
I mean,
really
no
hard.
whatever he does, he's dead, I guess. But
Yeah.
I want to kind of revisit just for a second that turn that he could have equality, then play everything. Would that have saved him from this situation?
Yeah, I feel like he wasted his Pyromancer because he was able to use
I agree
equality
with that. Yeah.
and just clear the board with the Kodo.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't need the Wild Pyro there. He should have definitely held on to it.
Yeah, no, well, he wanted to get aggressive with that sword, but I don't know. I feel like in a Paladin deck, you really want your weapons to gain you card advantage, but looks like he does go ahead and concede. So it looks like we now have it tied up once again, 2-2. This is the way that we roll here at the Road to Blizzcon at
Oh,
DreamHack
man.
Stockholm.
And right now, Numberguy is actually getting an advantage. And you know what? Like he was losing badly. He was he had a 0-2 start. And when you have a 0-2 start, you feel like, hey, I'm just losing this match. Like I just need to lose one and I'm out.
Yeah.
But right now he's in a position where, guys, I just won 2 games. I'm on a roll. I'm just winning. I can win this. And Kaor is like, the situation just flipped, and Kaor is like, I lost 2 games. What do I have to do? And I have only my priest against this handlock. This is a bad matchup for me.
Yeah, I don't like priest versus handlock especially when they have Jiraxis. Like, there's no way to deal with Jiraxis as a priest player.
It's extremely difficult matchup for the priest. Kaor lost his two best decks against the handlock, and now he's stuck with priest.
Maybe he can make a miracle here. Maybe he is running Silence, which is a perfect card against Twilight Drakes.
Oh, not
and
bad
a Shadow
at
or
all.
Death in his opening hand. I
Also not
can't
bad.
complain
Nice.
about this.
All right, so let's not say that Numberguy has won this yet.
Yeah. Definitely has possibilities with this hand. Oh, and we do see, in fact, the Twilight Drake in hand. So
And
that's
no
gonna
Giant, and no second Twilight Drake, which is important because when the first Twilight Drake is dealt with, he will have to go into Belchers. And, you know, such Belcher is a card with only 3 attacks. So Shadow Madness, you can just take it.
Yeah. Great turn 2 here by Numberguy, by the way. If I've learned anything from playing the ladder against priest players, it's that is your turn 2.
Yeah, it's the best play there.
Light shall burn you.
Some people, they like to play Undertaker on 1 and then double Zombie Chow on 2nd. Or like Undertaker
I don't
into
like
Zombie
that
Chow.
priest deck. No, I don't like that.
That's
one.
my style.
Yeah, that would be your style.
A second Twilight Drake is pretty important. Like
Yeah.
even with Silence here, he has a good follow-up.
Yep. And since he drew that, he doesn't want to Soulfire here. The next Twilight Drake would be quite small if he did that.
Yeah, quite true. But
The face of Numberguy. My God, the shock is
it's like,
real.
oh, you're playing Silence. It's like, well, actually,
What is
it's
happening?
catching on a little bit.
We were talking about this earlier, and in this particular matchup, usually when you get the first Twilight Drake out and there's no answer, it's like the game ends right there. It's such a powerful card for the against the priest.
Yeah.
I mean, the attack is at the sweet spot at 4, and it can be extremely difficult to deal with. But there was the silence.
Well, right now we do have Belcher and the Earth Ring out. The next Twilight gonna drop as well.
He needs to draw another Silence badly.
Do you think he plays 2?
No.
No, I don't think so.
That was a troll by Nimsh right there. There is no way he's playing 2 Silence.
No, I haven't seen 2 silences like ever.
We've seen Mass Silence at some point, I guess. I think somebody
Oh
was
yeah,
like
Mass
saying-
Dispel.
Mass Dispel, yeah.
Okay, I like this play. Draw a little bit deeper into your deck. You're healing your guy up.
Yep.
How can you win here as a priest? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to overextend, kind of, and deal as much damage as possible to be able to finish the game with Holy Fire, or you just clear every time, just fight for the board?
I think you have to clear every time. I really do, and I think you're holding on to your card, like, for instance, Holy Fire. That has to be, like, the last card that you play, because the amount of taunts he has, I don't think you can get through everything he has, especially when Jiraxis comes out. That's impossible. So you hope he doesn't draw Jiraxis, and you take over the whole board, and hopefully when he plays Jiraxis, you have enough to kill him in the next 2 turns.
Yeah, and this is an important moment. He got the Giant, which is 4 or 5 mana, and he will be able to just kill the Giant with the Shadow War Death.
That was
Yeah.
a really aggressive play, soul firing the 1/1.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like he just doesn't want him to be able to draw any additional cards here, but...
No. And denying the draw in this matchup is really important, but he might have been also thinking about something like Shadow Madness, because the No-Char Cleric would have dealt 1 damage to the Belcher. No, wait, never mind.
No,
Well,
that
you don't want to
that's
put
actually-
yourself in a
yeah.
position where the priest is actually healing 2 for 2 mana and drawing a card, and you're dealing 2 points of damage to you and then drawing a card.
Yeah.
Because then the life totals, they just go pretty fast.
Yeah, denying the draw is really good.
I really like this play, by the way, to get that out of range to die
Yeah.
easily. But of course, we do see he has a Holy Nova in here, so can deal with it anyways.
He has so many ways to clear, by the way. He got another Shadow War Death. He has Sylvanas. He will be able to combo Sylvanas with Shadow War Death because you can use Shadow War Death on your own Sylvanas, Ortozes.
I was playing the wrong class that day.
In this matchup, I don't think you want to Shadow or Death your Sylvanas. He knows there's 3 more Giants.
Yeah. I think
So,
you want her to
yeah.
die a natural death.
Yes.
And I think you probably wait till a Giant's out too, because if I see Sylvanas, I'm like, oh, that's one of the only ways you're going to be able to beat me, so I'm going to just throw all my junk into it and let you take like
It's removal versus the threats. Like,
yeah.
who runs out of the cards first? Is the removal done, or are the cards done?
Well, still a pretty strong hand over here. Can steal some stuff if he likes.
There is an opportunity for the Orkanai circle.
Hmm.
You can draw first if you want.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the draw first because then he can actually, even with that circle, use this guy to kill the little slime that comes out. So that's really nice because he'll use the hero power to hit the Belcher as well. And
Yeah. That seems like a
clears the
really
entire
good line
board.
of play.
Yeah, it leaves him some good stuff. I mean, I would be expecting a Hellfire coming out the next turn, to be honest.
Do you feel threatened by this board? Do you really want to clear?
Well, I think you do. I think you do want to clear here.
Does he actually run Thought Steal, by the way?
Kaor was saying that's like his favorite card, so I would imagine he is.
Oh yeah, he said that it's a funny card.
Yeah.
Thought Steal can be important, but on the other hand, Handlock got most of the cards that are threats already.
What do you think about not playing this 3/4, the Dark Cultist? You're just a little bit afraid of like a Shadow Flame with a Watcher or something like that?
Yeah, that has to be what he's thinking about there.
It's like, well, if I lose every card, I'm probably dead.
But it's also like, yeah, we can see the Shadow Flame come out here. So if he did play the Dark Cultist, he would have just Shadow Flamed the Watcher instead.
Yeah, so that was a good play. He was able to save a card.
Definitely do agree with just playing this Cabal naked. Like, you've already seen a bunch of these little 2/3 taunters go out, like, to try to wait to steal. When those come out, there's a giant out, and playing this guy is not what you want to do that turn, even if you're stealing something.
Numberguy hand is really weird. It's like doubles of everything.
Yeah. It's looking really good for him still because the Priest is running low on cards.
If this was poker, he'd definitely be ahead. Well, I guess he's
Way
ahead
ahead.
anyways. So
With the
it's
two
fine.
pair and stuff.
The games have a lot in common.
And he's running 2 holes, obviously.
Old inside joke there. Obviously.
But Iron Beagle is a pretty good card. Right now, it's you can do so much stuff.
There's so much Death Rattle on. Ooh, not a bad draw right there. Of course, he does have this Shadow Word Death. Ooh, I like that play
Nice
too.
clear.
Yeah.
But he will be able to play Pyromancer and
Well, you can do some stuff with that, but how is it even possible for Kaor to get out of this hole?
Well, I think that you're
Shadow Word Death and Shadow Madness.
like, would you want to? Now you don't have enough mana to actually steal.
I think I would Shadow Word Death the Giant and Hero Power the Watcher. Seems like a fairly strong play.
I actually,
makes sense.
you don't like Shadow Madness, the Owl into the Watcher, because where is the Shadow Madness going to be used? It's kind of like
You've seen one Belcher, so there is a second Belcher.
Oh
pro.
yeah, of course, of course. All right, well, he does drop his Giant now. This is getting harder and harder to deal with at the moment. But he could steal the Owl, run it in. That's 2, 4, that's 7. Yeah, that's not 7 is not 8. Unfortunately. Well, he just can't remove this turn.
You can't even draw a card from Northshire Cleric.
Oh, he actually went to... Okay, wait, what did... Oh, never mind. Okay, so he used the heal on the Owl.
That's silence. That's the owl for you.
Wow.
Double Giant. Yeah, you know that double Shadow Word Death is out of the way.
Yeah.
And
What else can he do here? You've already seen a circle used, so it's not like he's holding on a double circle at the moment.
Even Mind Control is not doing much.
No, not so much, especially with the one he taunted.
Thought Steal.
Finally, there's a Thought Steal.
Wildfire Thought Steal.
A funny card. Let's see what it does.
Hey, and you know what? Actually, with his Shadow Madness, he can steal one of these minions, and with Sylvanas, well, I guess that doesn't do a
I think you
whole lot.
Thought Steal first anyway. I mean, you might think if you want to play Pyromancer and deal some points of damage. I guess it makes sense. Because the board is so big, you want to deal as much damage as possible.
It gets rid of another minion, so that's good.
Trying to think why he didn't.
I would Thought Steal first.
I would Thought Steal, yeah. And in fact, that was kind of weird because now if he Thought Steals, yeah. Oh God. I really would have liked to see a Thought Steal before all of this, because if he draws a Mortal Coil, even he doesn't need to lose. You know, we haven't seen a Mortal Coil yet this game. Oh wait, we saw one, but still, you probably have a second one in there.
That was executed in a weird manner.
I would expect a tap here before the Giant. Nope. I guess he doesn't need it really.
Well,
but
Numberguy is in pretty good position right now.
Yeah.
And this is what we were talking about, like Warlock, Handlock is such a crazy deck that you can actually clean sweep with it.
No, it certainly is. You know, he did this.
That's it.
The reverse all kill before.
Oh wow. Almost out of cards.
Oh wait, he stole Drax's. That's awesome.
Just a bit late.
Yeah. Well, that is that, and it looks like Numberguy gonna go ahead with that reverse all kill with Handlock.
That was really well played.
Really well done. No doubt about it. You can see he's really relieved after that. He had to think he was dead, you know, bringing Handlock as his last deck up against a double BGH Druid.
Heavy breathing.
He looked really stressed during the games, but he played well. I mean, it seems like it didn't really affect his gameplay that he was nervous.
Yeah, and it's really tough because you're with your back to the wall, and a lot of players just say, hey, I just lost. Like, there's no way I'll just 3-0 him with Handlock, where he actually has a counter in a Paladin, and even with a Priest. So it was pretty tough for him, but he was able to pull through. Innovation, pretty nice team. Like, the guys are doing great.
Yeah, Frodan, you were watching that game. What did you think about Numberguy and the way that he actually came back here, now is in the top 8?
Well, at first I was kind of thrown off because Savitz looks so stunning at the moment with his stunner shades. But I am very impressed with how Numberguy held it together. He is young. He's 17 years old, and he said he was nervous before the entire series, but he was able to pull back in a situation where a lot of people might have mentally quit. You know, it's kind of true. You know, when you see the top deck from your opponent to get the exact response that he needs to remove the Ancient of War, like the Black Knight, it's tilting, and sometimes you feel like, oh, this is just not my series. But now he's through to the round of 8, and he's the first person to do so, and he's been one of the strongest players in Europe for a long time. So I'm very impressed.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Now, that does mean that Kaor is going to be bopped to the losers part of the group. He's not out just yet, but he will be playing the winner of Nyria as well as his opponent coming up on your screen, Max. And that's going to be happening, I believe, right after this. So we do want to thank Nimsh, by the way, for stopping by for this series. Do you have any last words you want to say about what you just watched?
Well, I had a pleasure. I think the games were great. I'm happy that the series was pretty long so that we could actually talk for a longer time. And I'm here at the stage, at the backstage as well. I will be playing some games. So yeah, the event looks great. It's very exciting to be here. And I hope I'll be back at the table as well.
Oh, absolutely have you back. You can't get away from us.
We have a lot of Hearthstone games today, and we need help.
Yep.
So,
no problem.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to have a winner's interview with Numberguy to poll his thoughts about the series. We'll be back in just a second.